Hello, my name's Gary Hibbard and I'm the Professor of Communicating Cyber at Cyberfort. What does that mean? Well, basically it means that I talk a lot about cybersecurity, everything from the way that we create data and how we secure it, all the way through to the way that technology and cyber is affecting us in our everyday lives. So anything and everything in between. It's a big topic, it's a big area to cover. But today we're just going to focus on something which is very close to my heart, and it should be close to yours as well, which is the way that our data is being used and protected by organizations. There is a regulation that covers this called the GDPR. You may have heard of it, you may have come across it. I hope you have. GDPR, it stands for the General Data Protection Regulation. It replaces the Data Protection Act 1998. It came into force in May 2018. And lots of organizations have really got themselves into a bit of a tiz about this regulation, when in truth they shouldn't, because in reality, GDPR simply means giving data proper respect. Something that we should all be doing. So giving data proper respect, what does that mean? Well, if I'm going to use your data and I'm pointedly looking at you right now and saying, if I expect you to hand over your personal information to me, then shouldn't I be looking after that data in a professional and respectful manner? That's something I would expect. As an individual, but that's something that I would hope I do as an organization as well, because at the end of the day, data is the new oil. It has value and organizations need to protect it. How they protect it, well, that is up to interpretation or down to interpretation. GDPR sets out some very simple principles. In truth, there are only 6 principles. There is what's known as the 7th principle of accountability, which I'll come to in a second. But fundamentally, there are just 6 principles. The first principle is essentially saying that organizations need to ensure that they're processing data lawfully, fairly, and in a transparent manner. This means that they can't do things with that data that they haven't expressly asked for permission. It has to be collected for specified and explicit reasons. And it has to be legitimate. They can't just simply have your data for whatever they wish. You can't, a hotel chain, for instance, couldn't suddenly just start asking you for your sexuality because it has no bearing on you booking a room. Why would that be a requirement? It has to be adequate, relevant, and limited to what they're going to use it for. So when they're asking for data, and when we're asking for data, we have to give you a reason why we need that data, and it has to be proportionate. And of course, that data needs to be accurate and, where necessary, updated. No one likes to have information that is out of date, and we've heard many different occasions where organizations haven't held data accurately, and it has impacted people's ability to get a job or to gain a mortgage, credit for something. So we have to keep it accurate. That doesn't sound that complex, difficult to do. It also only has to be retained for as long as is necessary. Now again, many organizations have got themselves into a real tiz about, well, what does necessary mean and how long is as long as necessary? The beauty of GDPR is in its simplicity. It's down to you to determine what that is. So determine how long you need to hold on to something. If you need it for other reasons, like for tax purposes or because another legislation or regulation, such as childcare, for instance, requires you to hold on to data for 20 years, 25 years, 40 years, then that's what you have to do, because it's as long as is necessary. But you have to demonstrate you've thought about this. It's that simple. And of course, the final principle, the sixth principle, is the one that really speaks to cybersecurity and into, particularly into my industry, which is that data shall be processed in an appropriate manner to maintain information security, or to maintain its security. So what, again, does appropriate mean? It's a broad term. It's a word that can be interpreted in many different ways. Again, it's down to you to determine what's appropriate. If you're a small organization of 10 employees and it's appropriate for you to back up your data onto an external hard drive, and that hard drive is then encrypted, that sounds like it's appropriate to me. And I'm sure that would be appropriate to the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office. However, if you were a bank, if you were a multinational organization, then that wouldn't be appropriate. You'd need to have a far more robust and scalable method to protect that data and to back that data up. So what is appropriate to you, only you can decide. But you must decide. And that is the key point about GDPR. It's down to you. It's down to your determination. You're going to go through a lot of changes within your organization over the years. You probably have already gone through many different changes over the years. But what shouldn't change is the way that you treat people. And the way that you treat data needs to be valued. The data needs to be valued. You need to give it respect. And that's what GDPR is all about. So GDPR simply means giving data proper respect. Good luck with your journey, and hopefully I will see you in the near future. Thank you. Bye-bye.